You're watching Let's Chat.
Good morning and welcome back. We have long heard about the dangers of drinking and driving. More recently, we've heard about the dangers of boating and driving, or BUI, boating under the influence. Our friends Warren and Griffin here to talk about that. C. Mark Warren and John Mark Griffin, good morning to you both.
Good morning. Ain't it good to be alive and be in Tennessee?
It is
Captain
for a fact. I see he's got the skipper hat on.
I'm the skipper, and John Mark is Gilligan. No, it's the other way around, really. In our office, I'm more Gilligan, and John Mark is more the professor.
Yeah, maybe I can be the professor.
Boating under the influence, just how bad is it? We've had 9 reports so far this year, and that just dates back to May.
Yeah, well, yes, it's on the increase, and we have a big holiday weekend coming up, a lot more boats on the water. We do know from personal experience in the news that...
not personally us.
Not personal experience, no, but what I've read in the news, that if you're behind a pontoon boat and you're not actually behind the steering wheel, that's reckless boating, and so TWRA can actually come on your boat and see if you've been drinking.
And is the same presumed level of intoxication when you're behind the wheel of a car the same as it is on a boat?
Still 0.08 to presumed level of intoxication.
Right.
But there's some other interesting data, and Mark had done a little bit of research on the effects of alcohol even at a 0.08.
If you're on the lake, it takes 1/3 less beers to get you intoxicated as far as the clinical effects of intoxication.
Wow.
So 6 beers on land is take 2 beers in the water because of the waves, you know, and the sun. And also in the sun, you might be dehydrated, and so you might be drinking more beer and not know about it, you know. So that's why it's very important not only to, you know, watch how much you drink, but be sure that you also take water, juice boxes, stuff like that, so you're not end up only drinking beer or alcohol in the boat.
There's a few other things, Chip, as you know. I mean, you have to have your boat registered. So if you don't have the registrations on the side of your boat, you could potentially be stopped.
Sure.
And if you've been drinking or if you're over the limit, then obviously that's a situation where, you know, you could be charged. It'd be like if you're driving around without a license tag on your vehicle. So anything that's motorized has to have the registration. So that's something that's very, very important. Also, if you're born after January 1st, 1989, then you have to have taken a safety course in order to, you know, have the certificate to actually operate the boat.
And you need to have that on board as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Now, there are differences between DUI and BUI. For example, when you boat and drive, you can have a beer in your hand. Now, you can't do that, obviously, you're driving a car. You can't drink out of a beer in your hand. But that's okay, as long as you're not intoxicated and blowing a .08, you can drive a boat and have a beer as you drive on the lake. Also, unlike DUI, if you anchor your boat, you can drink as much as you want to, as long as, once again, it's under the legal limit. Driving a car, if you're drunk and you show up in your parking lot and you're still in the car, just sitting there, you can still be arrested for DUI.
Yeah, on the land, if you're in control of the vehicle, you can still get charged with DUI. On the lake, if you're anchored or moored or docked, if you're consuming alcohol, then those same tests don't really apply.
A lot of mandatory penalties when you're caught drunk driving. Are those same penalties in effect when you're caught boating under the influence?
Ding, 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 ding. Bonus question. Very good question, you know, because once you get your boating license, it's implied consent, right? So basically you're given implied consent to a breathalyzer. So if you refuse a breathalyzer, you breach your implied consent and you can lose your boating license.
Wow. What about your boat?
Well, I mean, I guess that remains to be seen.
They could confiscate it, though, right?
In certain situations, I think they could confiscate the boat, you know, if we have a serious injury or a death involved.
Do you know if there's mandatory jail time as there is with DUI?
I think if you've been picked up 2 or 3 times for DUI.
Same standards apply. You know, it's 1129 just as for the first, and obviously those things escalate. You know, the more charges that you've had.
Sure, it's certainly something we all need to keep in mind. A lot of folks enjoy a beer. A lot of folks enjoy getting out on the water. Make sure if you're going to do that you do so responsibly.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Be smart. Be smart.
And of course those same, and I know a lot of folks are lobbying for the same penalties for DUI to be applied rather to boating under the influence.
Right.
And it hadn't been all that many years ago where, you know, if you got caught drinking and driving while in a car,
Yeah.
a lot of times
Right.
the penalties were a little flexible, not so
Not
much
anymore. Not anymore. No,
and
sir.
there are a lot of folks who are lobbying to make sure that that's applied to the boating industry as well.
Absolutely.
It's like
And that's a good
anything
thing.
else. Just use common sense. Have a designated boater with
Sure.
you if you're going to be drinking a lot.
And if you don't want to get in behind if you don't want to get in a car with somebody who's been drinking behind the wheel, why you want to get on water with them?
Absolutely.
That's a
Because
great idea.
there are
That's
just
a
as
very
many
good point.
dangers out on the water as there is on land.
Absolutely.
Proportionally
Absolutely.
speaking. See, Mark, John, Mark, good to see you both. Tell
Thank
us your
you.
website and how we can find out more information.
265 Hertz, our phone number, and WarrenGriffin.com is our website.
WarrenandGriffin.com. That's WarrenandGriffin.com. Our
Thank-
thanks to
thank
you
you,
both.
Chip.
We'll see you
Ahoy.
here
We
in a few
appreciate it.
weeks. And we'll see you on the other side of this commercial break.